One of Valencia's big ideas that's proven to be very, very leveraged in the organization, that is really important for improving our results, is just called Start Right. Let me tell you the story of Start Right. As we examined the data on our students' performance and discussed it in multiple meetings back at the beginning of 2001, 2002, one or two things became very clear. One was that the best predictor of student ultimate success, that is their graduation, was their success on first attempt in their first 5 courses. If you succeed on first attempt in your first 5 courses, and it doesn't seem to matter what those courses are, whether they're on college level or developmental or quantitative and STEM-like or humanities-driven, it doesn't matter. If you succeed on those first 5 courses, your probability of graduating from Valencia is extraordinarily high. But if you withdraw from or fail or make a D or make an I, an incomplete, which is really just a pregnant F, if you do any of those things, that is, you fail to succeed in even one course, your probability of graduating declines by almost 50%. And if you withdraw or fail in 2, it declines another 50%, that is, in half again. It's just a dramatic effect, and it was like scales falling off our eyes. We said, of course, if you don't succeed at the front door, you're not going to progress through the rest of the institution. And it turns out, as the working theory goes, that the things that can make you successful at the beginning cascade into the rest of the program, and you have success downstream. So we adopted this new idea that we just called Start Right. And the idea was, let's make sure that the very first experiences our students have with us, their first semester or 2, are filled with the right structure and conditions so that they succeed and they learn the competencies that will help them succeed all the way through the rest of the program. Now, most community colleges churn students at the front door. That's what we call those first few experiences, the front door. And we were doing that too. If you can't get them past the front door, there's no hope of graduation. And it turns out that about 15 or 20 classes account for almost half of the enrollment at all community colleges because they're front door courses, and that's where half their students just churn in and out, failing and withdrawing and re-enrolling and so on. So Start Right was, let's focus on those first experiences, and that's still a big part of our strategy. And we began to invest our resources and our faculty time and our curriculum effort and support services for learning, all those sorts of things right at the front door. And we said we want several things to happen here. We want every new student to arrive in the right class at the right time, ready to learn, which meant rethinking our intake processes for new students. It meant the end of late registration and drop add. It meant implementing a real application deadline, which is hardly done anywhere in community colleges, so that there was time for every student to be assessed, advised, placed, and oriented before their very first class. It turned out, again, the data was very helpful. Students, first-time in college students, whom we allowed to enroll late, had a very low probability of succeeding even in their first semester. And that failure, it turns out, cascades further into the program too. So we restructured our intake processes. We focused all of the learning resources we could around those first courses. And it turns out, although we offer 3,000 or 4,000 different courses, if you change the right 20 or 30, you've changed everything. And we can afford to change the student's experience in 20 or 30 classes. We probably couldn't do that in 3,000. So Start Right began as a way of focusing on the student's first experiences, the intake process, the instructional experience, and then it came to mean a lot of other things. This is the way culture works. The underlying idea of Start Right informs many things we do now. For example, the way we schedule, the way we assign classrooms, the way we deal with the bookstore. There are many, many areas where we said the beginning of the semester needs to have more structure and less chaos, and so on. So the organization has taken the underlying working theory that if you begin strong, you'll finish more strongly, and they've applied that to many, many things that we do, and Start Right's come to mean more than we ever intended it to mean. So this is a very important idea for us. Start right. Students who start right have a better chance of finishing.